yes, Porsche flat six naturally aspirated goodness. 2022 Porsche 911 992.1 GT3. I am particularly excited today because this is my first time behind the wheel of a 992 GT3. I've driven every other generation of GT3 Porsche. First time with the 992. New for the 992, we have the swan neck rear wing, and also we have double wishbone front suspension, which should substantially change the front end feel and driving character of the vehicle versus prior generations of 911, because of course this is the first time we get double wishbone rather than McPherson strut. Multi-link still in the rear as always, and we are powered by a 4-liter naturally aspirated flat six. That's the MA 2.75, which is actually a derivative of the 991.2's GT3R race engine, with individual throttle bodies and better thermal management, which should give it slightly more mid-range torque and better durability versus the 991.2's MA 1.76. We're making 502 horsepower, 346 pound-feet of torque with a redline of 9,000 RPM. With the aero changes, including the swan neck, at 125 miles an hour, we're actually making 385 pounds of downforce versus 150 in the 991.2 GT3. And don't worry, we got a review of the Sterrato dropping soon as well. The car is very similar in both weight and size to the prior gen, the 991.2 GT3. Length and width and weight are all almost the same. The weight is like 15 pounds heavier, and the track width is a little bit wider, about 1 to 1.5 inches front and rear. And we're still weighing just a little bit over 3,200 pounds, which in modern day is quite light. I actually think the 991.2 GT3 has the best styling of any GT3, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I personally just am not a big fan of like the nostrils right there. We're also running Goodyear Eagle F1 tires rather than the Cup 2s that the car normally comes in. We have a 911 ST suspension flash, which softens it in the normal mode, so it really just rides like an ST when you're driving in the softest setting. And we also have these magnesium paddles as well. The Weissach magnesium paddles, I should say. Alcantara wheel at 30,000 miles. Showing a bit of wear. You got to really maintain your Alcantara wheel, otherwise you're going to notice the wear on them pretty quickly. I just got some partially Alcantara wheel. Nice, we got the nose lift here to not scrape. Yeah, partially Alcantara wheel on my Miata. Gotta be mindful of that. Oh yes, Porsche flat six naturally aspirated goodness. And right now we're in the softer setting. It is not punishing at all. I'm gonna dial this up into sport mode now. PASM engaged. Going to manual. Razor sharp PDK. It's so crisp, so perfect, so smooth. Although these Weissach magnesium paddles, they're really loud. I mean, I know that they're magnetic, so they're gonna make that noise. It's like my sim rig. Oh, beautiful, super firm brake pedal. I love modern Porsche brakes. They just have this solidity to them that just give you this confidence. You know, I was expecting a little bit more drama with the rear engine, because with the 991.2, you have to be mindful of the weight, and with each prior generation, you have to be more and more mindful because you notice the rear engine weight balance more and more. Whereas here, you know, every generation they move the engine up a little bit. They do their wizardry with engineering that only Porsche can do. This car feels incredibly neutral and balanced. Very easy to drive. Love these brakes though. Now these are significantly larger, both the 991 and the 992 versus the 997. And you feel that size, you feel the width, but still not terrible. I think people make that out to be a bigger deal than it really is. By modern standards, it's not like it's like a muscle car, as an example. You drive a GT350R and you're like, whoa, this is a big car, gotta be mindful to stay in my lane kind of thing. Look at how willing it is to change direction. The front end is just so sharp. One thing that's kind of strange though is that the steering is super light right here, just like a couple degrees off center. Super light, and then you think, hey, is that play? There's like literally no weighting at all. It's not play. The car will actually change direction slightly there. But then you go past maybe 3, 4, 5 degrees of steering angle input, and then it just weights up in not a dynamic way in the sense that, oh, based on the lateral G's it's weighting up, but more just once you get past that angle it weights up, which when I first got in the car I thought something was off. I'm used to it now, but that just seems a little bit un-Porsche-like to have that strange, super light first couple degrees and then weight up. It does also make me miss the 997's hydraulic rack, which has so much feedback, both in terms of road texture as well as mid-corner load up. And this in comparison is so much more muted. Still very direct, a little bit of feedback, but from my recollection, the 991.2 GT3 actually has more steering feedback than this. Really impressed by the front end as well. You don't have to be as patient with the throttle when you exit corners. You also don't have to do as much trail braking entering corners to keep the weight on the front end. What they've done with the double wishbone suspension has made a big difference even at these canyon speeds. I'm sure the difference would be even more noticeable on track. And then you get stuck behind traffic, you put it into normal, exhaust valves close, it gets a little bit more quiet, a little bit softer with the suspension, and it's perfectly comfortable. Put this back into automatic, it'll have more conservative shifts as well. This PDK is flawless. The response time, the speed of it, I feel is slightly slower than something like the RS product, so like a GT4 RS or a Spider RS or a GT3 RS, I think are ever so slightly sharper, a little bit more immediate, but this is like, we're splitting milliseconds here. With each successive Porsche GT3 generation, they make the car a little bit more accessible. They smooth out the edges, not as visceral, not as raw, not as communicative, but it gets more and more capable, quicker, easier to drive. And that is both a feature and a bug depending on who you are as a driver. I think, let's actually give you a pull, just like the Sterrato is doing right now. In track mode and giving it the beans, it gives you a little bit of that jolt when you upshift at 9,000 RPM, a little bit more theater. I like that. So yeah, it's a feature or a bug depending on who you are. And I think my initial thoughts right now, driving on this road, again, not the driest conditions, not the best road to drive on for this car, it makes me feel like the 991.2 GT3, even though it is more compromised, you feel more of the rear engine weight bias, you feel the front end washing out a little bit. It's a bit more raw, a bit more communicative. Actually, my favorite out of all GT3s is the 997, because that one feels proper race car, really heavy inputs, way more communication than anything else. But that's just my personal preference, and I can totally see other people saying that they prefer this over the 991.2 or the 997.2. And I wouldn't blame you. They're just different. They give a different flavor, a more modern, refined, and capable flavor, but with significantly less communication. Gotta love that Porsche is still, in this day and age, giving you an analog tach where everyone else is going to full screens. That's what we want. It's such a beautiful tach as well. Look at all the little details there. The craftsmanship, the detail. It's a shame that for so many of us, these cars are just unobtainable. And every year they get more and more expensive. Porsche seeing how these dealerships with these crazy ADMs were making so much profit off of them. They said, hey, you know what? How about we jack up the prices on the 992.2s? And these cars get more and more out of reach for so many of us. But if you do have the means, there is a reason why Porsche is held in such high regard, why it has become, I mean, part of it is the engineering, part of it is the brand positioning and the marketing and such. They did that intelligently. I mean, I don't like it because markups and exclusivity, but it actually helps with the brand prestige and people's desirability for the car. And we got our nose lift. Big shout out to Dorian, the owner, for letting me review his 992 GT3. Big shout out to Fenton from the Zygreen channel for making this review possible. My friends, let me know what you think of the 992 GT3 with a comment down below. And if you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. Much love, and I'll see you all in that next one.